Okay, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to learn for psychology. Child development is complex, so don't take this word for word. Sometimes the rate at which your child develops is different, but I'm just doing this for students of any field like sociology or psychology or anything else, because sometimes these things are hard to learn, and when you're in an exam, you have to remember it like a fact, even though things can be different. So these apparently in psychology, different shapes tend to be learned at different, not learned, the children learn how to draw these shapes at different ages. So this is how you remember it. So when you are 2 years old, you stand up straight because you are happy, and then you are happy that you were born. That's about 2 years old. But then at about 2.5 years old, you fall to the ground. Why do you fall to your ground? Because your mom is upset that your infinite potential has been wasted and that you are very sad. And she is also very sad. She cries that, why were you even born? Why did I even have you? And then your mom consolidates this memory at around 3 years old. So at around 3 years old, mom is absolutely sure, dead right in the center, that you should never, ever, ever have been born. And then at around 3.5 to 4 years old, she drags you to the cross, and then she gets you right there. So remember, 2 years old, you're standing up straight. 2.5 years old, you're disappointing your mom and you fall. 3 years old, your mom is absolutely certain that you should never, ever, ever have been born. And 3.5 to 4 years old, your mom is dragging you to the cross, and then done. But then, what happens? The square appears out of nowhere, and then you are saved from the execution, and then you survive. But look at this. In a square, you can have diagonals. So remember, at 4 years old, there is this, which many children can draw a square. But it is the truth that this is no simple ordinary square. There are other things as well. So obviously, at 4.5 years old, there is a left to right diagonal. Yes, left to right. One here, one there. But then what is this? So maybe your mother is not so... Maybe you have not disappointed your mother to the extent that it seems. An upslope, yes. At around 4 years old, many children actually do show more of their potential. So 4.5 years, an upslope. For 4 years, they learn the square, and then 4.5 years old, and then they move on, and then and then they go upslope. Yes, the upslope. And your mom thinks, yes, maybe my child will grow up to be a billionaire. Maybe I haven't disappointed them at all, but yes, it is of no avail. Around 4.5 years old, slightly later, the upslope diagonal tends to be learned more, but the later one, sometimes the same time, the downslope diagonal, your potential, yes, you're still disappointing your mother. Remember, 2 years old up, 2.5 years old, you fall flat on your face and disappoint your mother because your infinite potential is not lying there. 3 years old, I like a circle completes itself. Pi is irrational. She's completely certain that you should never have been born. And 3.5 years old to 4 years old, she crucifies you on this, whatever this is. No offense to anyone. Okay, and then at 4 years old, you are saved by a majestic square. And upslope, downslope, 4.5 years old. Left, remember, 2 diagonals, that one. And then 4 years, 11 months, around 4 years, it completes itself. So at around 4 years, your mom decides at the end of the day she cannot murder you, and disappointment or not, unfortunately she will go to prison for murdering you, so she will not murder you. That is okay. You do not need to have to worry now. Even though you are scared and you're wondering that your mom will beat you with a vertical stick, a horizontal stick, a hula hoop, a cross, a square, even a diagonal stick up, diagonal stick down. Your mom cannot murder you. So around 4 years, 11 months, it is okay. It is okay. Survey says she cannot murder you. And then triangle. This is where you will start taking a bit more responsibility for yourself. I don't care what they say, that children are children. At around 5 years, 3 months, you must take a bit more responsibility for yourself or wear a dunce cap. So 5 years, 3 months, around about then, children can draw a triangle. I do not care what you say. And these two are a bit hard to remember because they're not like half months, 4 years, half months. So remember everyone. Remember psychology students, sociology students, even the pediatric medical students. I do not care. This is how I remember it. 2 years, you're standing up tall. And then 2.5 years, you fall down and then you disappoint your mother. And 3 years, She's like pi, she's infinitely sure that you should never have been born. And then 3.5 to 4 years, she tries to execute you on the cross. But 4 years, the square of existence that is outside the circle saves you from this terrible fate of death around 3.5 to 4 years that your mum or father has set in for you. But remember, this transcendental square that has saved you, it has an upslope and a downslope. So an upslope and downslope, children can normally learn to draw these around 4.5 years of age. And then remember this thing, why did I give birth to this brat who always complains, he's always talking about Power Rangers. For 4 years, 11 months, she starts thinking, even though I want to murder him, survey says, ding, I cannot murder him. And then you will put on the cap of academia and take responsibility for yourself. And most children learn to draw a triangle at around 5 years, 3 months. So remember, children, all of these shapes and can be remembered by the extent to which your mums hates you and whether or not you achieve your infinite potential. But, she cannot murder you at around 4 years, 11 months. And at around 4 years, 3 months, you will put on the cap of academia, the dunce cap, and take responsibility for yourself. I do not care what any other of the professionals say. That is the age you will learn to draw a triangle. And as soon as you draw a triangle, every child should be made to take responsibility for themselves. Like me, if you agree.